FM. We're also streaming from that SuperTalk Mississippi app. Of course, you can always find us, too, on your local SuperTalk Mississippi radio station. But don't forget to watch us. We are on your computer, your mobile device. Just head on over to SuperTalk TV. If you hadn't heard, the hurricane season kicked off June 1st, and with it can bring a mixed bag of emotions, especially for our friends and family on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. So joining us today is Miss Wendy Bailey. She's here to help us wade through this hurricane season. So, hey, Wendy.
Hey, Rebecca.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am not going to complain because so far we've made it 24 days into the hurricane season and nothing really headed our way, but you never know when that can change. So how do you guys sort of manage this time of year?
Well, and we only have a few more months to go, November 30th. Well, the Department of Mental Health, we recognize that there's a lot of stress and anxiety that this time can bring to people and their families in our state, especially, like you said, on the Gulf Coast. So we were excited to partner with the Mississippi Emergency Management Agency to just really try to get the word out about how to prepare for hurricane season while also managing your mental health effectively. And really, preparation is the key for that. But then we also want to make people aware of kind of how to manage weather-related stress and just if there is a disaster, what reactions you could expect and how to get connected with resources.
I think the weather-related stress, Wendy, obviously is significant during hurricane season, but I think just within the last couple of years, the number of tornadoes or straight-line winds or flooding or just you name it. I mean, we've had just about it all, ice storms, all the things. And that's, shouldn't laugh, but it is. At what point do you have nothing else to do but get tickled, Wendy, at everything that's come this way? I feel like no matter where you're at in the state, this can be good advice depending on the season.
That's exactly right. And, being prepared is key. I know I didn't really think about that for me and my family until Hurricane Katrina happened. And I've been prepared since. Having that evacuation plan for you and your family members, knowing an evacuation is ordered, where you're going to go, having an emergency kit, making sure that you have assembled an emergency kit tailored to what your family needs, and having access to weather updates and hurricane tracking routes, just really being prepared. And then if there is an incident, making sure that you prioritize your self-care. Most of the time after some type of disaster, we kick into that survival mode. And most of the time we're trying to take care of others that are around us. But also making sure that we're prioritizing self-care and taking care of ourselves as well. And then many times during this time of the year, it can bring back memories of past disasters and events that have occurred that have been traumatic for someone. So just making sure that they're taking care of themselves is very important.
You mentioned taking care of yourself because we try to take care of others. I would say in that preparedness, we often should think about if we have parents or elderly members of our community that we kind of care for, look after. Some of that stress can come up when the weather comes up, wondering if they're ready. So thinking ahead and having not just yourself sort of got a what to do, but making sure those that you take care of that aren't under your roof has a what to do, I think could also reduce your stress. Right, Wendy?
Absolutely. That's exactly right. It's all of your family members, your loved ones, your church members, just your community, making sure that everyone is ready and knows what to do and knows what to respect as reactions as well, and just knowing some of those steps to how to take care of someone even after a disaster as well.
How would you know the difference, Wendy, from just maybe weather-related anxiety that comes with when the weather report's not looking favorable, they're starting to call for maybe, tornadic weather specifically. I know this is hurricane season, but maybe that too. And you do start to slip back into some of those panic modes from past experiences being kind of normal, and you can manage those to maybe post-traumatic. Maybe you should get some better help for the level of anxiety that comes up with certain months or dates or things of like that if you were highly affected.
That's a great question, Rebecca. So everyone should know that stress, anxiety, depression, those are common in people who have experienced a disaster. And survivors who are living or working in that area, especially victims' loved ones, first responders, they may particularly struggle in the aftermath and even years after. But making sure that everyone takes steps to make sure they are coping with the stress that they are experiencing, and if that stress that they are experiencing becomes something that impacts their daily life, then maybe it's time to seek some extra help. Some signs and symptoms that someone may be struggling with trauma include insomnia or difficulty sleeping. You may have dramatic mood swings or a loss of temper, increasing use of alcohol or drugs or other substances. You can also have physical problems like headaches and stomach problems or disorientation or confusing symptoms, or a fear of being left alone. If any of those reactions and those signs and symptoms begin to impact your ability to function daily, then you absolutely should reach out and talk to someone.
Would the Department of Mental Health be a good place to start, Wendy, if you don't know where to turn? I know some people have better connections than others when it comes to mental health care, and there's others that just feel like, I don't know where to go.
That's right. It is difficult many times to navigate, especially the mental health system in our state, so we're really working hard to try to make that easier. If you are having thoughts of, if you feel like you might be experiencing a mental health crisis or thoughts of suicide, we have 988, and that's a 3-digit lifeline number that's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if you call that, you will be routed to one of 2 call centers in Mississippi, and you will talk to a trained crisis counselor here in our state, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So that's an easy number to remember, 988, for any type of a mental health crisis. But we also have a helpline for the Department of Mental Health, and that number is 1-877-210-8513. It's available 24/7 as well, and it can provide you with services and supports that are available in your area. We also have the Department of Mental Health's website, dmh.ms.gov, and a website specifically for mental health in Mississippi. And it is www.mentalhealthms.com. And it's an online resource where you can find resources available in your county or your area of the state.
And if you've ever, I guess, connected with one mental health provider and it didn't mesh or some say work for you, you shouldn't give up, right, Wendy?
That's it. That's exactly right. There are many providers and community mental health centers and other providers across the state. So if you have one thing that we really want to stress is that above all, everyone should know that it is okay to reach out for help. It's okay to not be okay at times, and it's okay to reach out for help if you need someone to talk to. And if you've reached out in the past and maybe you didn't have a good experience, like you said, to reach out again and to try again, because mental health affects us all. We know that 1 in 4 Mississippians has a mental illness, but we all have mental health. And we all have times where we may struggle more than other times, and that can especially be before or after a disaster. So we need to all remember that it's okay to reach out for help and to talk to someone when you need it.
Well, I think this is great advice, Wendy. I know that you guys with the Department of Mental Health and MEMA have got some great tips to manage this weather-related anxiety, and I really think that those tips can go regardless of hurricane season, tornado season, thunderstorm season, ice season, all the things. And so is there somewhere where we can go and sort of see what all you have recommended or see the checklist for being prepared?
Yes, absolutely. On our Department of Mental Health website, dmh.ms.gov, we have a tab called News and Events, and under that you can select disaster updates. And that's also where we post information during and after a disaster as well. But that has some common reactions and helpful steps and tips that you can take to prepare before and after a disaster.
I like under when a storm is imminent, Wendy, you guys said wear durable shoes. My mama always said, and put on a good bra.
Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. Those shoes and that bra is important.
Yes, they are. And all of it is. And keeping a light heart and just trying to stay focused and prioritizing your mental health, I think, is always a good thing, Wendy. So I appreciate your time here on Good Things.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All righty. You guys stick with us. We got more for you coming up next.